Along the cold, rocky floors of the Atlantic Ocean, where light fades into blue silence and movement slows to conserve energy, the European lobster exists as a creature of armor and patience. It does not roam aimlessly, nor does it rush into conflict. It occupies space deliberately, defending territory that has often been held for years. In a world shaped by currents and stone, survival belongs to those who endure. Known scientifically as Homarus gammarus, the European lobster is among the largest crustaceans of the northeastern Atlantic. Its body is encased in a hard exoskeleton, colored deep blue-black when alive, absorbing and reflecting the dim underwater light. This shell is not merely protection, it is identity. Every scratch, every scar tells a story of encounters survived. The evolutionary roots of lobsters extend back more than 100 million years. Their ancestors lived alongside ancient marine reptiles, already equipped with segmented bodies and powerful claws. Over time, refinement replaced reinvention. The European lobster represents a perfected form, no excess, no weakness, every feature serving a function. Its most defining traits are its claws. Asymmetrical by design, one claw is larger and heavier, built for crushing shells of mollusks and crustaceans. The other is slimmer, sharper, designed for cutting and tearing. This division of labor allows the lobster to handle a wide variety of prey efficiently. Power is paired with precision. Movement is slow but controlled. The lobster walks along the seabed, using jointed legs to navigate rocks and crevices. When threatened, it can retreat rapidly by snapping its tail, propelling itself backward in a sudden burst. This escape is costly in energy, used only when necessary. Behaviorally, the European lobster is territorial. Individuals claim shelters, rocky holes, ledges, or self-excavated burrows, and defend them aggressively. Displays involve raised claws, body elevation, and tactile signals. Actual combat is rare, but when it occurs, it is decisive. Strength establishes hierarchy. Hierarchy maintains order. Habitat defines lifestyle. European lobsters prefer rocky substrates where hiding places are abundant. They are most commonly found from shallow coastal waters down to depths of around 150 meters. Temperature stability is critical. Too warm, and metabolism accelerates unsustainably. Too cold, and movement slows beyond effectiveness. Feeding is opportunistic. The lobster is a scavenger and predator, consuming mollusks, fish, echinoderms, worms, and carrion. Nothing edible is ignored. This flexibility is a key survival trait, allowing lobsters to persist where more specialized feeders cannot. Sensory perception is finely tuned. Antennae detect chemical signals in the water, guiding the lobster toward food and away from danger. Touch dominates sight. In the dim seabed environment, vision is secondary. Knowledge comes through contact, vibration, and taste. Growth is slow and dependent on molting. Periodically, the lobster sheds its rigid shell to expand. This process is dangerous. For days, sometimes weeks, the lobster remains soft and vulnerable, hiding deep within shelter until its new exoskeleton hardens. Survival during molting requires secrecy and perfect timing. As the lobster grows, its lifespan extends far beyond that of many marine animals. European lobsters can live several decades, possibly longer. Age does not weaken them in predictable ways. Instead, size and experience often confer dominance. Old lobsters are not frail, they are formidable. Within the ecosystem, the European lobster acts as both predator and recycler. It controls populations of benthic organisms while cleaning the seafloor of decaying matter. Its presence contributes to balance, its absence to instability. For centuries, humans have encountered this animal not as an equal, but as a resource. Fishing pressure has shaped populations, altering size distributions and behaviors. Yet despite this, the European lobster persists, cautious, adaptable, enduring. In the quiet darkness beneath the waves, where stone and water meet, it waits. Not hidden, anchored. As seasons shift above the surface and currents subtly change direction, the European lobster continues its life largely untouched by the passage of time. Its world is not measured in days or months, but in molts and territories, in the slow accumulation of size and experience. This is a creature shaped by patience, not urgency. Reproduction in the European lobster is a process governed by timing and vulnerability. Mating occurs shortly after the female has molted, during the brief period when her shell is still soft. At this moment, she is at her most defenseless. To survive this stage, she often seeks the protection of a dominant male's territory. The male guards her, not out of attachment, but necessity. Protection ensures continuation. After mating, the female carries fertilized eggs beneath her abdomen for many months. Thousands of eggs cling to her swimmerets, fanned constantly to supply oxygen and remove debris. During this time, her behavior changes. She becomes less mobile, more cautious, conserving energy and minimizing risk. Every movement is deliberate. Loss of the brood would mean an entire season erased. When the eggs finally hatch, tiny larvae are released into the open water. At this stage, the European lobster is no longer an armored guardian but a drifting organism at the mercy of currents. Larvae rise into the plankton, where they feed, grow, and molt several times. Survival rates are low, predation is intense, only a fraction will ever return to the seabed. Those that survive eventually settle, transforming into miniature versions of the adults. From this moment on, their lives become bottom-bound, structured around shelter and territory. Growth is slow. Years pass before they reach reproductive maturity. This slow life history makes populations especially sensitive to overexploitation. Recovery takes time, sometimes decades. Human interaction with the European lobster has shaped its modern existence. For centuries, it has been harvested along European coasts, valued for its size and flavor. Intensive fishing once reduced populations dramatically in many regions. In response, regulations emerged, size limits, seasonal closures, and protected areas. These measures reflect a growing understanding that endurance, like that of the lobster itself, requires restraint. Conservation has shown promise. Where protections are enforced, lobster populations rebound. Larger individuals return. Natural behaviors re-emerge. The seabed regains a familiar rhythm. The lobster's presence becomes once again a stabilizing force rather than a diminishing memory. Ecologically, the European lobster is more than a predator. Its burrows create microhabitats used by other species. Its feeding habits influence community composition. It shapes the seafloor not through construction, but through persistence. There is a quiet symbolism to this animal. Encased in armor, moving slowly, retreating when necessary, advancing only with purpose, it embodies a form of strength often overlooked. Not dominance through speed or aggression, but through endurance and timing. In an ocean increasingly altered by human activity, the European lobster stands as a reminder that longevity is possible when balance is respected. Its future depends not on innovation, but on continuity, on allowing ancient strategies to function without constant disruption. As darkness settles over the Atlantic seabed, the lobster emerges once more from its shelter. Antennae extend, testing the water. Claws remain poised, not in threat, but readiness. The world around it shifts and changes, yet its rhythm remains steady. It does not hurry. It does not adapt dramatically. It persists, and in that persistence lies a lesson written not in words, but in stone, shell, and time.